Let us start our session as usual by those who wish to observe the T7 Panchasila. Please say Namaskar. And to get more insights into the reality as it is, rather than the way that we like to see things. So, the practice of mindfulness is there, as the Buddha had taught it in his Satipatthana Sutta, to be aware of the body, to be aware of it in different ways. One is to realize, for instance, when you are sitting, that you are sitting. When you're standing, that you're standing. When walking, that you're walking. When lying down, that you're lying down. Now, of course, here we don't practice lying down meditation, but we have sitting, standing, and walking meditation. So 3 of the major postures, anyway, we can practice here. And to be aware of the body also in the way of, for instance, becoming aware of the heat in the body, or the pressure of the weight of the body, or sometimes the different kinds of sensations in the body, to become aware of the feelings in the body. Physical sensations are what we call Vedana. They can be pleasant or unpleasant, they can be of different descriptions. And to become aware of one's body, when we practice, for instance, the sweeping the body meditation, to become aware of the sensations from top to toe, throughout the whole body, is one kind of body awareness as well as awareness of Vedana. So, in general, Buddha taught to be aware of body and mind, but body, including the breathing as a special subject for our awareness, such as in Anapanasati Bhavana, where we are more focusing on the breath than on anything else. Now, focusing your attention on the breathing, there are different schools in Buddhism that come both from the Burmese tradition, one which says focus your attention at the nostrils, feel the breath inside the nose. The other says feel the rising and falling of the abdomen as the main object. Now, we cannot teach 2 things at the same time. I prefer to teach the focusing of your attention at the tip of the nose. But there may be some people who feel the breath more clearly in the rising and falling of the abdomen. Then you're free to do that. Best is not to change back and forth from one focal point to another, but keep your mind on the chosen one object. And in this case, the touch sensation of the breath inside the nostrils as the point where you always can return to. If you notice that your mind has gone to something else, you notice that first, and then bring your mind back to that particular chosen object. Now, the mind has been used to travel and to roam and to think about this and that, never really finishing something completely, and not to stay with a particular object of your choice. So we cannot expect this mind to be obedient all of a sudden, after millions of years of roaming, that it suddenly obeys your command to stay in one place. So, that is the fact. Some people seem to think that they're only successful in their meditation when their mind is fully focused on the breathing and have no other thoughts in their mind. And if they find out that there are thoughts in their mind, they think they are a failure in the meditation, which is not the case if you consider that mind and thought is also to be seen as an object to be aware of, just part and parcel of the Chatur Satipatthanas, the 4 foundations of mindfulness. So the difference is, if we are not aware of it, then we may be getting carried away by these thoughts about the past, the future, or some fantasy, and without noticing we are sort of daydreaming and getting carried away. But if we notice it, and if you focus your mindfulness also on the mind itself as an object, then suddenly you are aware that thinking has been going on, thinking is going on, and if it is not necessary, and in 90% of the thoughts that we meet, they are not really relevant to the present moment, what we are doing, then you can just let go of those thoughts. Lose the interest in those thoughts, not to get engaged and entangled in them by likes or even dislikes. You cannot get rid of thinking by disliking thinking, but by acknowledging it, by realizing it, and then seeing that it's not necessary, then one can let go of it. So that is basically the focusing on the breathing as a main technique, and the letting go of all the other objects after realizing what is going on as another way of being mindful. And to carry that mindfulness throughout the sitting, standing, and walking, and eventually in whatever you do. Then it becomes mindfulness of daily life also. Here we are just practicing it as a kind of laboratory situation in a special environment, quiet place, as a group, and with the eyes closed and the body sitting cross-legged. But later on, one can also translate this mindfulness into daily life situations, to be mindful of what one is doing, saying, and even thinking. And that will help us to protect our minds from getting into trouble, into conflict, into suffering. So the Buddha actually taught the fact of dukkha, the unsatisfactoriness of all conditioned forms of life, and that includes our body, feelings and mind, and the way out of dukkha. Now, the way out of dukkha is not by stopping to exist, but the way out of dukkha is to see the things for what they are, and in a way transcend those things, not to get involved in them, especially not psychologically with attachment and aversion. So then, once we see the things for what they really are, and that is in the Buddhist context, especially when we see the changing nature, anicca, the unsatisfactory nature, dukkha, and the non-self nature or the insubstantiality, that is the anatta of things, then that realization of the tilakkana, the three characteristics, helps to overcome our avidya, our ignorance or our moha, our delusion. Replacing delusion with insight is what we are trying to achieve in this insight meditation, and through those insights overcome the causes of conflict, tanha and avidya. So with these few words of introduction about the meditation, I would suggest it's better to actually practice it. So let us sit quietly with the body balanced, straightening up our body a little without becoming rigid, relaxing the body and mind without becoming too slack. And the eyes gently closed, and the attention turned inwardly. Letting go of all the thoughts about past and future. by focusing your attention fully onto the body sitting here now. Feeling the touching points on the floor, the cushion, becoming aware of your sitting posture, including the hands and arms, shoulders and neck, and your head, all the way to the very top of your head. Till you can feel those subtle sensations on the top of your head, becoming aware of your whole body sitting here, now, from moment to moment. And once you are completely aware of your body sitting here, let us then develop more metta, universal loving kindness to all beings, including yourself and starting from yourself, by wishing from your heart, may I be free from anger and fear. May I be free from greed, hatred, and delusion. May I be free from conflict and suffering, free from dukkha. May I be well, peaceful, and happy. May I be well and happy. May all beings, near and far, be free from conflict and suffering, free from dukkha. May all beings, human, animal, the visible and invisible, be well. Peaceful and happy. May all beings in all directions above, below, in front of me, behind me, to my right, to my left, to the north, to the south, in the east, in the west, and all around in all directions, near and far. May all beings be well, peaceful, and happy. May all beings be well and happy. Sambi satta bhavantu sukhitatta. With metta in your mind and heart, you can then once again feel your body from top to toe, bottom to top, and send metta throughout the body and mind in all directions. Sending metta to all cells in the body, while feeling the body sitting here. Wishing, may I be well and happy. Well and happy. Well and happy. And send metta in all directions to all beings, near and far, while wishing, may all beings be well and happy. Well and happy. Well and happy. And with metta in your mind and heart, and with the tranquility that it brings, you can then, when you're ready for it, start focusing your attention on the chosen object the touch sensation of the breath inside the nostrils. At first, perhaps taking 2 or 3 deep breaths to establish a contact between the breath and your consciousness. Become fully aware of the touch sensation and the place where the air touches. And then returning to the natural, normal breathing. Neither forcing the breath in and out, nor following the breath in and out, but staying in one place, focusing on the point where the air touches. And become aware of the natural, normal breathing. While focusing your attention on the breath, you may become aware of changes in your body and mind. That's all part of being aware of what's happening. And naturally, your attention doesn't stay with the breath all the time. Just become aware when your mind is wandering, 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 wandering. And return whenever possible to the chosen object, the touch sensation of the breath. From time to time, you may become aware of different objects. Sometimes the sounds around you. Sometimes the bodily feelings, sensations throughout the body. Something that draws your attention. Remaining awake and aware, without clinging to anything, without condemning anything. Only returning to the chosen object whenever possible. When hearing sounds, just realize you're hearing. When feeling sensations, just realize you're feeling. When thinking thoughts, just realize thinking. Acknowledging what is, and then letting go of it, without getting involved in it. And using the breath as the reference point, the home base. That sensation which you can only really feel in each present moment, not in the past, not in the future. And starting to see more and more how everything is changing in the body, the feelings, the perceptions, your intentions, your thoughts, the sense objects. Everything is in a flux. So why cling to some? Why condemn others? Letting go, letting go, letting go. And remaining awake and aware with equanimity from moment to moment to moment. And when your mind comes to a state of being, not going here and there, wanting this or that, or becoming something, but just being from moment to moment, you might become aware of another dimension, a peaceful happiness within you, a sense of security, a happiness that does not depend on sounds or sights, on smells or tastes, on feelings or thoughts. An unconditioned, independent happiness. A peaceful state of mind. To experience this, we don't need to go anywhere. Just being where you are. Without trying to become anything. this shining nature of your mind is the real nature of your mind, free from the visiting kilesas. And remaining in a state of being rather than reacting or becoming. From moment to moment to moment. Being, being, being. May all blessings come. Bhavatu Sambhamangalam. May the invisible helpers, devatas, protect us. Rakantu Sambhadevata. By the power of all enlightened ones, Sambha Buddhanubhavina. By the power of all truth, Sambha Dhammanubhavina. By the power of the spiritual community, Sambha Sanghanubhavina. May the highest happiness, Paramam Sukham, the deepest peace, Paramashanti, the greatest security, Sada Sati, ever be yours. Bhavatu Sambhamangalam, Rakantu Sambhadevatam, Sambha Buddhanubhavina, Sada Sati Bhavantu Te. Bhavatu Sambhamangalam, Rakantu Sambhadevatam, Sambha Dhammanubhavina, Sada Sati Bhavantu Te. Bhavatu Sambhamangalam, Rakantu Sambhadevatam, Sambha Sanghanubhavina, Sada Sati Bhavantu Te. Now, towards the end of the first sitting meditation, before opening your eyes, it is good to once again feel your whole body sitting here. From top to toe, bottom to top. And then to gradually become aware of your surroundings. The room you're sitting in, the environment, including the subtle sounds around you, near and far. And to become aware of the silence around you, and especially within you. And while relaxing body and mind, you can slowly open your eyes.